Hi, happy Easter if you're celebrating. I want to do a quick little book haul. It's just 8 books, but I'm mainly doing it for this one specific book and the little story of how I acquired it. I'm not buying a lot of books nowadays because I don't have a lot of spare money for books. Most of these are used. The couple of them that I got new, I just really wanted and really needed for a very long time. Also, I'm upset about book depository closing, but that's a separate subject. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that, but everybody already did. Never mind, moving on. The first one I got is The Elements of Eloquence by Mark Forsyth. This is a book for writers and for anybody who's just interested in the way of the word. This is about how to turn the perfect English phrase. This is the author who wrote the Etymologicon, and I want to read that one as well so much, but it was not in stock where I bought this one. I've also never seen this cover before. It's so shiny and reflective. It's kind of inspiring me. I'm gonna read it this month because I need to, because I'm trying to write more, you know. Next, I bought Cromwell. This is a part of the Penguin Monarchs. This is by David Horspool. This is just a part of a series about different monarchs. These little books about their life, about interesting things about them. I'm kind of interested in Cromwell. I don't know a lot about him, but here it is. Yeah, I'm gonna read it soon as well. Then I got The Cat and the City by, sorry, I forgot, Nick Bradley. And when I saw this cover, I thought, this looks very Japanese to me. And then yes, this happens in Tokyo. I think the author has some kind of connection to Japan. Did you notice that a lot of books about cats are by Japanese authors or happen in Japan? Because I feel like the Japanese people have a special connection with cats, especially in their culture and literature. That's really so interesting to me. That could be another interesting video. Yeah, so this is for my video where I read books about cats. I have a bunch of books there, but this one was missing from my list. Tiny font, but that's okay. Yeah, this is the next one. Then I got The Black Unicorn by Terry Brooks. This is just a really old battered paperback, like mass market paperback. This is number 2 of a Magic Kingdom of Landover series. I don't have the first one, and I'm going to try and scour the internet for it to read it so that I can read this one. I looked, can you not make those noises while I'm filming, please? Sniffy snuffy. I looked for the first one and I still couldn't find a physical copy or an ebook or an audiobook, but I'm gonna keep looking, maybe it's somewhere there. I bought this basically just because I saw a unicorn and I kind of really like unicorns, so I just bought it and I want to read it, but I'm not, like, I need to read the first one first. Then I got Girl in a Green Gown by Carola Hicks. It's a historical analysis of this painting. This is the famous Arnolfini portrait by Jan van Eyck, and this portrait... I started to sneeze at this point and forgot what I was saying. Basically, the Arnolfini portrait is so famous because it's considered to be one of the first paired portraits. It's incredibly detailed and beautiful, masterfully made. There's a mirror used to sort of expand the space of the painting, and the study of it is a big topic, so it's very interesting. And I love art. I'm a trained artist. Books like this really interest me. Historical analysis really interests me. Fiction based on historical information about painters and their work also interests me, but I think this is completely historical. This is non-fiction, so yeah, this is fun. Then I got My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Tessa Moshfegh. This one, I feel like everybody read this. I still don't understand if this is non-fiction or fiction, because in the back it says that her character, but I was pretty sure that this is literally like her year of rest and relaxation, but I don't know. I'll read it and find out. It's basically just about a woman who doesn't do anything for a year, tries to relax, tries to reconnect with herself. We shall see. I've heard really good things about this book, and I've heard really awful things about this book, and that is always so interesting to me. Why is it so divisive? Also, this hot pink is iconic, everything. And then I got The Constant Rabbit by, I forgot, Jasper Fforde. This is about an alternative world, our world, where there are anthropomorphic rabbits living amongst people. I really love the size of like a tall paperback, and it's all floppy because it's used. Most of these are used, only 2 of them I bought new. Yes, and floppy. I kind of want to read it this month as well. And then we have this little gem. There's a story to this book. Let me tell you a story of how I got this. So a week ago, I went with my friend in my city, in Kiev, in Ukraine. We have this book market, where there's a bunch of stalls selling different books, all kinds of books, any kind of literature you want, you'll find it there. And at the very end of the market, they have the Bookinist, the secondhand books. There are secondhand bookshops that are like little shops. There are vintage secondhand books, like really antique ones, really old, really expensive ones. And then at the very back, there are these like old cranky guys. I'm not exaggerating. They are all very old and very cranky, these men that sell these books. They have literal heaps of books of any kind. They are dusty. I'm pretty sure there's like all kinds of fungus growing on them. They're kind of covered with tarps to prevent weather getting on them, but they are mostly completely unkempt. Nobody cares about them, and people mostly go there for books that are like from before the Soviet Union or the Soviet Union on like carpentry, which is exactly why we went there, because my friend needed some books on carpentry for her husband. So we went there and she started asking these guys where any books like that could be found. She started rummaging through one shelf, and while I was perusing books to kill time to wait for her, this man approached me and asked me what I was looking for. And I never found anything in English in those stacks, but I thought, you know, I'll try. And I said, okay, do you have anything in English? He said, what kind in English? I said, I'm looking for fiction, just something interesting to read. He kept pressing me, like wanting to know what specific books I wanted, and I said, I don't know, like just show me if you have any fiction in English. Maybe I'll find something interesting, because I'm interested in most genres. He got even crankier, but he led me to a box at like the end, and there was a turn, and it was just kind of like a nook made out of books. There was a wall of books, and he said, well, there are 2 boxes over there. You can start looking through them, but because you won't tell me what it is you want, I'm not able to tell you if you'll find it there. I was like, that's fine, I'll just look through it. And he said, look through the top layer, and if you don't see anything you're interested in there, don't look any further, because they're all mostly the same. I thought, okay, but I'll still look through all of them, because I have time to spare, and I just like looking through old books. I started looking, and that's where I found The Girl in the Green Gown and The Black Unicorn, and I was pretty pleased with these finds. That's really great finds. And then, at the very bottom of that box, I see this. This is Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. The Life and Adventures of Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, with 52 illustrations by J.D. Watson. There's no publication date. It's clearly very old. There's a stamp here. Here it is. I don't know if it's focusing, but I'll make some footage of this book separately so you can see. From the Library of the Ukrainian Society for the Cultural Connections with Foreign Countries. So this was in a library. It's got black and white illustrations. It's incredibly old. It's tattered. It's cloth bound. I looked it up and I found 2 auctions, one on Amazon, one on eBay, I think, one on 8 books, for a book exactly like this, with this exact same cover. One of the auctions was for this book, but the cover was blue. Honestly, this is so weathered that it might have been bluish someday in the past. So there are 2 possible dates for this book when it was printed. One is 1879 and the other is 1893. So this is very old. This is so old. I'm obsessed. I am so happy that I got this, that I found it just at the bottom of a box, at the end of a Bookinist shop, just sitting there sad, alone, in a box. Yeah, do you agree? I have read Robinson Crusoe when everybody read Robinson Crusoe. I was like 13, I think. And I think it might be due a reread. I don't know if I'm gonna be reading this actual copy, because it feels, it's not gonna just sit on a shelf. I'm going to take it out and look at it. And yeah, I'll probably read this specific copy, but I'll read it in front of a desk so I can lay it down, because it's pretty hefty. There's a lot of pages and the paper is incredibly thin. You know those old copies where there's a bunch of pages of really thin paper and the book is really heavy? It's 562 pages in this. with the illustrations, and I'm very, very, very obsessed with it. And I had a moment when I found it, which just felt so special. I felt like I was at the beginning of the never-ending story when I found this treasure, just where I was not expecting to find it. And it cost me $4. Like, I don't know, because on the auctions it was like $34 or something like that on the internet, but these guys, they don't care. They just sell these books. They don't matter to anybody. So I risked it. I'm so pleased. It's so pretty. It's my new friend. So yes, thanks so much for watching. Please let me know if you read any. Oh, it's torn a little bit at the top. It's kind of sad. Let me know if you read any of these books, or if you plan on reading any of these books, and we can buddy read them together, because that's always fun. Let me know if you have any oldies like this, any kind of, like, not even old like this. If you have a first edition, a signed copy, or a specific edition you really wanted and you found it somewhere, you know, by accident, just tell me a story like that, because it's so fun and so interesting. Thank you so much for watching this far. If you don't feel chatty, but you want to let me know that you watched this far, I completely sold this whole line from Cassidy. Please leave me an emoji of a moon in the comments so that I know that you watched this far. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon. Slava Ukraini!